All right, well, here we go. Roast in peace to the great John Witherspoon. Unfortunately, there will be no more Fridays for John Witherspoon. He was active in the entertainment industry for over 40 years, often playing a dog catcher, a mailman, and some other job that nobody wants. I want to send out condolences to his daughter, Reese Witherspoon. Nothing? Okay, fine.
By the way, You know I'm a big laugher.
So these jokes aren't...
So if they're not making it... Because, by the way, how hard do I laugh at you? And I love laughing at other comedians, but I'm not full of shit.
David Letterman is godfather to both of his children. And if you've seen his beard lately, he's really taken the God part to heart. Now that John Witherspoon is gone, who is going to yell at young black people and get away with it? Rest in pig's feet, John Witherspoon.
Whatever you want to do to open your show, that's your business. That's your business, man.
Get ready for Jeff Ross. Do you have thick skin? Let's all come together.
Hello, everybody, my emotional support humans. Are you out there? Hear ye, hear ye. We are back in the bunker. This is Jeff Ross. This is Thick Skin. I missed everybody. I really, truly missed everybody. I've been on the road, and I was in Minneapolis and Houston and Winnipeg and D.C. for Dave Chappelle's Mark Twain Award, and I was in New York City. And I'm just happy to be back. My cousin Ed is out at a wedding, so our engineer Eddie is prepared the show today. Hi, Eddie.
Yep. How you doing?
And of course, Luna, my little puppy dog. Hi, Looney. Are you a good girl? She's here providing background noise and straight up laughs. A lot of dogs don't have a sense of humor. This dog has a sense of humor. Are you a dog person, Jeff?
I most certainly am.
All right, here's the story. One time I was walking her along Ventura, and she's a pretty tough dog. She doesn't back down ever, right? And we walked past a barber shop that had a big, giant white bench shaped like a polar bear. So right at her face was this polar bear, and she didn't see it coming. And Luna flipped out, did a black backflip, and realized she was just startled by this giant polar bear because she didn't smell anything, so she didn't see it coming. Something like, "Arr!" And she did a backflip, and she just looked at me and started laughing. She laughed out of embarrassment, and now every time we walk past that bench, she stops, looks at me, and just starts laughing again. Like, remember that time I got scared by the polar? And she jumps right on the bench. So she's a good doggy, good doggy, Luna. I'm so happy to be back. You know, I always say this is a friends and family podcast. This guy's a friend, but he feels like something between a cousin and a brother in my comedy cult. I love this guy. I love him so much. Jeff Garlin is here. Of course, you know Jeff Garlin. He plays Larry David's manager in Curb Your Enthusiasm. He's the father on the Goldbergs. He was the captain in Wall-E, Toy Story 3 and 4, Cars 2, Arrested Development. Curb's been on for 19 years. Is that true?
No.
No?
Yeah, I mean, yes. It
started 19 years ago.
It started 20 years ago, 1999.
Wow. And the Goldbergs.
But it has been on all those years.
I understand.
Yeah.
It's very special, and you only give it to people when you're in the mood.
Yeah, thanks, man.
And the Goldbergs, well, sorry.
No, our 10th season's about there.
Incredible. Mazel tov.
Thank you.
It's a great show.
Thank you.
As is the Goldbergs, which has been on since 2013, entering its 7th season.
Yes.
Holy moly.
I'm immensely successful, Jeff.
I saw that. Jeff Garlin's Netflix special is called Jeff Garlin, Our Man in Chicago. It comes out this week, streaming. I watched it last night. It's so cool, dude. You really did a full-on 57-minute fucking Netflix special.
I did.
It's really great. It's really fun to watch you back to your roots.
Yeah.
You shot it in Chicago.
Chicago.
Where?
Park West.
Park West.
where we performed together.
I remember.
At the Chicago Comedy Festival or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
Yeah, we performed there. That's right. Holy shit. That's funny.
You really did it, man. You
Thank
really
you,
did
pal.
it. I watched it last night. I watched it stoned at 2 a.m, as these things should be.
By the way, delightful to watch Stoned at 2 a.m. That's what I say.
I was really, really into it. It was, it's an interesting special because it's a performance.
Yep.
But I've never seen anyone do this before. You stepped off the stage, or it appears that you're on the floor.
Yeah, I am.
With the audience.
Yes.
And as much as I see it as an improv it's stand-up, but it's a conversation with the audience.
That's very much my style.
And I found that so refreshing from everyone else's like set-up punch. Here's
Right.
Here's my act that I've been honing for a year.
I've been really, I hope people dig it because I think I captured lightning in a bottle in terms of what it is that I do.
Yeah.
Like, I captured it.
Right. For sure.
Yeah. And I feel extraordinarily, I'm going to use this word, lucky to have captured it. Because it's really, when you film a special, it's a long shot that it's as magical as one of those nights in a comedy club where you come off stage and you're like, wow, it doesn't get any better than that.
And you're like, fuck, I wish I taped that.
And literally while I'm taping it, I'm literally thinking, oh my God, this isn't Flappers. This is Park West and Chick. I'm filming it. I swear. Because that's the thing that people don't know about comedians. We can have a conversation with ourselves while we're even improvising.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
'Cause
doing
it's what we do.
Right.
So it's like I'm doing that and I'm literally giddy from what the show is being recorded.
Well, you had those big applause breaks where you could always do a little talk in your head. But I would make the argument that was one of the times, just as a fan, somebody watching you a long time, and as a comedian myself, you were having the conversation with yourself a little bit, but you were mostly in the moment.
Oh, yeah.
And very present with that audience.
Yeah, I have to be.
Now, this is maybe not a fair question. You must have shot more than one show.
I shot 2 shows.
Right.
Now, as you know, I go up with nothing.
Right.
I go up and
I've
I improvise for as much as an hour. So Netflix says, let's do a special. So I had this in my back pocket, if you will, for like 3 years. I worked on having a beginning, a middle, and an end, and have it be thematic and have it be about something. So I filmed the first hour, that night, and I came off stage. I'm like, yeah, I nailed it. And then so the second one, I went, all right. And I did like an hour and a half, mostly improv, and that's what the special that will air.
Really?
The second one's the one that airs, yeah.
It's not airing, it's streaming. It's
streaming.
a whole other thing, my
Yeah.
friend. Sorry,
Yeah.
we don't all have primetime ABC shows.
Yeah.
This is the beauty of it. When I talk about time slots, I sound like antiquated, but everything's like, watch it when you want to watch it now. If you
Doing
like
the morning stoned.
that's what
Your
to me,
business.
that's dinner time for
Yeah.
comics.
Yeah.
It was very vulnerable, which is another thing that you don't see a lot with stand-ups.
But that's me. That's always how I've always been.
You've always been vulnerable, but I think you were extra open about your personal life, about your, I don't know, I'll just say it, your food addictions and
Right.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I see that maybe you're coming into some new awareness or new confidence that is fueling your performances.
Well, that's possible. I don't pay attention.
Come on.
I don't.
Oh, it was cool. It
Thanks,
was really
pal.
good. And
That
you
is
look
the-
great. You look like a professional superstar.
Well, I'm wearing a suit that was custom made for me on Savile Row.
Oh.
Is that how I say Savile Row in London?
in London.
Yeah, even the shoes were custom made for my feet. Yeah,
Really?
I wanted to look $1 million. And I wanted to wear a suit. That was like, there was no way I wasn't going to wear a suit and a tie and nice shoes, and I went all out.
What made you want to dress up for
It's
this?
just because it's special. It's special. It's showing respect to the audience too.
I like
Not
that.
that I'm not against T-shirt and blue jeans or whatever someone chooses to
Because
wear.
when you perform, I know you in a more casual setting.
Very much
at
so.
UCB or something where you'll bring like old clothes and give them to the audience.
Give them the audience, yeah.
I was a little disappointed you didn't give your suit away at the end of the
Take it off. That's like me to do that. You know what? I'm done with this now.
I was like, I can't wait to see the end when he's naked.
That's so funny.
I go, you look in shape. He's going to be naked by the end of this. Why is he wearing so many layers?
I don't know. That's so funny. No, it's a suit that I admit it's important to look good, I think.
Yeah.
And
I remember a comic told me when I was starting out, about wardrobe on stage. He was a smart guy. He said, well, if you don't care, why should the audience?
Right. It's just showing respect to the audience. That's all it is.
I admire that.
Yeah.
Very vulnerable, very funny. You talk about your personal life, your kids, your heartbreak.
Yeah.
Getting arrested. You're like a Jewish rapper in this thing.
I'm a Jewish rapper. Yeah, I've been through it all, man. It's also called living a full life.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised. I never heard that whole arrest story. So funny, man.
Well, thanks, pal. That's high praise.
Yeah. So now what happens? The beauty of most comics is they do a special, and they can't do that material anymore. You didn't even do it then.
Yeah, I didn't even do it then. No, I'm taking a break now because I'm filming the Goldbergs, and I just got, before I filmed the special and went on the road prepping it, was filming the Goldbergs in Curb. So I'm just a little bit burnt. So I'm taking a little bit of a break. I'm at Largo on December 23rd, and then full on next year, every Friday at the Improv and every Sunday at Flappers.
Oh, okay.
Burbank, yeah.
How is that club?
Flappers?
Yeah.
Unequivocally, the best club in L.A. Oh, my God, the room. But it's in Burbank, and it's called Flappers. How do you get people? Like, it's one of those things, people are like, where are you playing Flappers? Where's that? Burbank. And then, like, you've lost them.
And this is because you like to be under the radar, or you like to...
Well, I do love being under the radar, but it's the warmest room. You play that room once, you'll want to play there all the time.
Really?
Oh, my God, yes.
I drove by the other day, and I was like, oh, yeah, Flappers.
No, they have actually 3 rooms, but 2 rooms that are always, and they're both great rooms. One's a tiny room, like literally like 40 people. But their main room is such a delight. It's a delight. I love it. Love it.
Big plug for Flappers here on
As
Thick
a matter
Skin
of fact,
with Jeff Ross.
Those shows at Flappers and the Improv all of it I see on screen in my special.
Really?
All the work. Yep.
In that little fancy theater in Chicago, which
Yeah.
I did do a pop-up with you during a festival once.
Yeah.
I believe you and I had our you and I have been friends a long time. We had our one and only sort of itchy moment during that weekend.
Why? I don't even remember.
And it's totally my fault.
You tell me what it is, because
Oh, no, you were so mad at me.
What was I mad at you for?
Oh, it was
Do you
great.
know what I was mad at you for?
You know what? And Bill Burr once got mad at me for the exact same thing more recently. And it's like,
You're not going to say what it is?
I will, but
Okay.
it's my own bad habit. You invested in a restaurant.
Yes, RPM.
Right.
In Chicago, yes.
And you were very excited to take me.
Yes.
And we walked in, and King Jeff walked in, and the place, you were just in all your glory. It was so fun. Everybody was so happy to see you, hometown hero. You had this cool place.
But I remember taking you to dinner at RPM. I took you there.
I got all swanky, and I really wanted to look good. I love Chicago.
Right.
We felt like the Rat Pack.
Right.
And we sat down, and they brought over some hors d'oeuvres, and I double dipped.
Oh, yes. I thought you're going for a deep thing that we really, because I'm like, what the hell did we fight about? I love you.
Yeah.
You double dipped, you piece of shit. No one double dips. You're an asshole for double dipping.
I was.
Yes, I did get mad at you, and I didn't hold back, obviously. Double dipping is inexcusable.
Oh.
Inexcusable.
It's so gross.
It's so gross.
It's from-
You fucker. It's because I'm literally so confused at what I would be mad at you about. Oh yeah, you fuckhead. Double dipping.
Oh, it was so upsetting because I was so embarrassed because I'm the son of a caterer. Like I know.
Oh no, double dipping would be you're testing stuff. You're around it. I get it.
It's the casual relationship with food and your family and coworkers.
Right. Yes.
And it's also a little bit spoiled, maybe. Like I should not have done that.
Yeah.
And I'm a little, I'm trash sometimes, and I have to catch myself. And
oh man, you scared the fuck
And by
out
the
of
way,
me.
it's not like I have the most beautiful. Like I bite my nails. My hands are probably dirty.
I think your hands are beautiful.
Thank you.
But there's still no excuse for double dipping.
And
ever.
And I said, I'm sorry, I'll never do it again. I'm sorry. You were so mad, and I was so embarrassed, and I didn't do it again for like whatever it's been. It's probably been 10 years.
Hope you stopped now.
And then last year at my friend Tal's birthday party, I double dipped, and Bill Burr got so mad at me. Because him and his wife, we were sharing hummus or something.
Hummus. Yeah. But anyhow, yes, of course. The fact you remember that, it obviously had an effect on you. And I, of course, loving you and us being close, I let it rip.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you doing?
No. You were, it was.
Oh my God.
It was bad, and I was embarrassed. And you taught me a lesson that I did not repeat until one other time.
Yeah, with Bill Burr of all people.
Who's another person who laid into me.
Yeah, well, he's going to get mad at stupider things, I think. I guess Bill's gotten mad at me for Bill. Like, I go around taking photographs. I take tons of photographs.
You're a photographer.
Yeah, and I have my first show at the Leica Gallery in January.
Oh,
yeah, and Bill gets fury. He's the only person that I work with and spend time with who gets really mad when I take pictures of him. Really, get away from me! He screams at me. I don't stop.
What is that?
Don't know. He doesn't like it. Like if he's standing around, I'll just take a picture of him, and he just gets very upset. I don't let that stop me, but nonetheless. Can you imagine hearing that Bill Burr hit me?
Yeah.
Based on, he's not going to hit me, but he does get legitimately mad.
It's funny what triggers certain people.
By the way, I love the way you said certain people, and we're talking about Bill Burr. I mean, the list of things that triggers Bill Burr is a mile
double
long.
Dip. I'm still on the double dip.
Wait. By the way, double dipping, that's not even, it's funny. Anyone would get pissed at a double dip except the son of a caterer. So, but Bill Burr gets upset about everything. Everything.
Well, that's his MO.
Yeah, I know.
He literally does a podcast where he yells at himself.
He yells, yeah, I know. So I'm saying you shouldn't be surprised that, Bill Burr, but double dipping, inexcusable.
It is. Maybe it speaks to our maybe precious relationship with food.
Right.
Now, I know, and I've heard you make jokes about it, and I know that you haven't had it in a long time.
Right.
I am addicted to ice cream.
Okay.
I could eat ice cream every single day. I have to hold back. Sunset Tower, when they give you the menu.
I have a strong opinion about this.
Please, I need help.
Hold on.
One of the reasons I was so happy you were coming is
Okay.
you look great.
Thank you.
And I really need help.
Okay, so I'm going to help you the best I can.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've tried it before and been successful, but last week was November 5th. 2-year anniversary of me being sober with sugar and food.
Wow.
And so I haven't had ice cream in 2 years.
Wow.
Now, if I may, I miss cookies. I miss cupcakes. I miss cake. I miss all that stuff. But it's okay. What I haven't gotten over is missing ice cream. I say, if you're an atheist, you've never had ice cream. Ice cream is proof of God, because I really feel the birth of your children extremely extraordinary. But on a daily basis, the two things that are extraordinary that we have, sex and ice cream.
Right.
There are no other things that are even killing in front of an audience.
Have you ever had ice cream while having sex?
No.
Oh, that's something.
Have you done that?
Of course.
Oh, look at you and your good looks.
No,
look at you and your good
looks.
looks.
This is something that you have to plan because it
I
melts.
can never plan it. It's not going to happen.
You have to time your erection with the melting of the ice cream.
So know that ice cream has not left the building for me in terms of it being difficult. Like people say, oh, it must be so hard. It's really not hard. The first 2 weeks of giving up sugar, I had rashes. I couldn't sleep. I mean, really, really difficult emotionally, physically. Then it's like someone puts a rocket up your ass with energy. However, I miss ice cream. Ice cream is special because it's a sensation. There's no sensation really in eating a cookie.
Right.
Delicious,
Right.
delightful, but ice cream feeds you as a human being on so many levels, and it is calming. It is really,
It's
eating
smooth.
it is smooth. Eating a piece of cake is not calming,
No.
except if you have an eating addiction. In that moment, it might calm you. But ice cream, whether you have an eating problem or not, ice cream is calming. Ice cream is magic. When I say, if you're an atheist and you must have never had ice cream, I truly mean it.
It's from God.
Ice cream is really that special. I talk about it all the time
Right.
because it is. So saying that, there's nothing I can do to tell you that it gets easier if you give up sugar about ice cream. And what if I told you, you look great, and I say have ice cream every day until you're diabetic? I'm diabetic.
You
man.
are?
Yeah, I've been for a while.
And that's why.
That didn't stop me initially from eating sugar. That's how self-destructive. I used to
So
make.
let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Because this podcast is called Thick Skin. I say our motto here is life is hard. Let's get through it together.
Well, by the
So
way, you're
help-
totally right. And by the way, my big thing that I tell my children is, take what you do seriously. Don't take yourself seriously.
Love that.
So you know me. I'm happy for you to ask me anything. I don't care.
Well, that's what I want to say.
And I don't
so
even wanna know
let's just
ahead
say, hypothetically,
Yeah.
you just did your best Netflix taping in Chicago. The tie comes off. You got a couple friends around, or maybe you're back in your room.
Yeah.
And how do you not go, I just shot this amazing show, or I just sold out some theater on the road. How do you not go, I deserve a scoop of fucking
See, here's the
ice
key
cream.
thing.
Help me, because
Okay.
I can't do it.
Here's where it comes down
I
to.
need to-
Here's where it comes down to. I have the answer. The answer is this. And people only associate negative feelings with overeating or doing drugs or a drink. Positive feelings may take you there too. So what I have learned is to sit with my feelings. That's how I've lost weight, how I'm in much better shape. I sit with my feelings because I know they're temporary. The excitement of doing a great set, the excitement of anything, the rejection of a woman, the sadness of the failed this, death, all these things, the feelings go away. No matter how, I don't know how much time, depending on the situation, but I sit with my feelings. I let myself feel my Shpilkes, if you will. You know what I mean? I feel the crap, and I sit with it. So, and I feel the goodness, too. So, I don't associate...
How long?
doing-
When you say sit, 5 minutes, a day, 2 days, what is it?
Whatever it takes. I'll sit a week. I'll sit a day. I'll sit 5 minutes. Generally, it's more 5 minutes or an hour than it is a week or a month. But I've gone through some dark phases recently, and I'm a guy, I search for joy in everything. I'm not one of those people like say, you got to be happy. No. Being unhappy and sad is part of the whole festival. You just try and avoid being sad every day. I search for joy in everything. Let me say something to you, Jeff Ross.
Yeah.
I find so much joy in you. Watching you on stage, whenever I spend time with you, it's
you.
joyful. Would I be on the show if it wasn't joyful? No fucking way. You're joyful to me. You make me laugh. And every time I've ever spent with you, it's joyful, except when you double dip. But you know what I mean? No. So for me, it's about especially when you don't have ice cream.
Right.
You got to find joy in other things. You got to find the joy. There you go.
I'll be at the West Palm Beach Improv December 14th, 15th, and 16th.
Will you really?
I'm spreading joy.
Are you there then? Okay. That's a nice room.
Yeah, I can't wait. But I was making a joke, but because I don't take compliments well, so I was
By the
trying
way,
to deflect it into.
That's another thing you have to learn to do. That also comes with sitting with feelings. Is when someone says something nice to you, like I just did, be touched and say thank you.
Yeah.
And if you feel uncomfortable with it, sit with it.
I'm good with the fans, but when friends do that, I get.
Well, you know how heartfelt it is me telling you that.
No, you've
right
always
now.
been that way with me.
But that's also a thing. I feel so strong about this. What we do is sacred, being comedians. I feel that. I don't feel self-important, but it's sacred. And anyone who's legitimately a comedian in my eyes, because there's plenty of people when I go to the Comedy Store where I go, I don't even think about it anymore, but I used to think, why are you here?
Right.
Why are you taking up space? Get the fuck out of here.
Right.
But you are legitimately my brother in what we do. I remember being at Caroline's doing a benefit, and who was on stage? Oh my
Was it
God.
for scleroderma?
Yeah, it was for scleroderma. It was Colin.
Right.
Colin was on stage and he was eating it.
Right.
Some guy comes up to me on the side of the stage. When are you going up? I love you. I don't want to watch this guy. And I said, sir, thank you for your kind words to me, but that man is my brother, and it could easily just have been me up there eating it.
Right.
That's my brother.
Right.
Do not fuck with that.
Right. Someone's got to go on during the meal.
Someone's got to. But by the way, I remember doing another benefit. I was with Ray Romano, and I forgot who the other comedian was. And we're downstairs, and you know how it's really tough to go on at a benefit after you follow when they auction,
fundraising,
the auctioneer,
the sad part.
Especially if there's a real auctioneer,
Right.
because it buzzes in people's ears and almost numbs them to a human voice.
Right.
So whoever goes up first after the auctioneer, it's not going to be pretty. So I said to Ray and whoever it was, I go, I'll take the hit. And I took a hit. It was one of the worst bombings I've ever had.
I was there.
And
That
was
one
it you?
That one was in Beverly Hills at a big scleroderma event.
Was that what it
Well,
was?
Ray went on right before or right after you, and I remember you. I'd rather you told it, but
Did I eat it?
it was a tough crowd. And
Yeah, but by the way, I had to have been.
you
the one
ate
to
it
go,
while they were eating.
Yeah. But by the way, yes.
We've all been there.
We've all been there.
I did
and that's
one-
the thing.
I did-
Ray Romano is my brother. Do you know what I mean? There's certain comedians, male, female, doesn't matter. If you're in it for the right reasons and you're passionate about it, you are my brother or my sister. That is a fact. We are tied together.
Well,
You know, I remember I was having some difficulties one time.
Yeah.
We were in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And I said, maybe I'll stop. And it wasn't like you said, think about that. You went from 1 to 100 and started screaming at me almost as if I double dipped. Like going, you're never quitting. If you ever quit, I will beat the shit. You were furious at me,
Yeah.
even for bringing up
Yeah.
the idea that I might.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know if you remember that. You were
remember.
furious at me.
well,
You know?
I consider myself a comedian. It's like a religion. Before I'm an American, before I'm a Jew, before I'm anything,
Oh, without a doubt.
I'm a comedian. And
That's
when
like saying
comedians need
By the way, for you and I, it's like saying you're a human being.
Yeah.
It's that you're attached to it that deeply. But that's why you're my brother.
and I understand. Thank you. And I understand when a comedian is going through pain or. Buddy Hackett once told me comedians feel pain more than most people because that's our trade.
It is.
You know,
It is. We are funnier.
and you understand that your dad was a plumbing supplies.
No, he had a plumbing supply business.
And my dad was a caterer, and Buddy's dad was a upholsterer, a
Right.
trade. The idea of a trade.
yeah, no, most definitely.
We trade on
And
our
by the way, do
feelings.
you remember you gave a signed book to my father as he was dying?
Yeah.
And he loved your book. He
Wow.
thought you were hilarious, and you signed a book to him, and he read it. And I seen my dad laugh and quoting things from the book. But that stuff, that's what we do as comedians. Like, I swear to God, I'm not even slightly exaggerating. I really look as my job is to ease people's pain. If you get joy out of it, that's the other part. But really, what's my purpose? Like, if you go way beneath, it's to ease the pain. The joy is like the bonus.
this leads me into something I wanted to ask you about. When your mom passed away,
Yeah.
and forgive me if I'm being too. You did a show that night. Is that true?
Holy shit! Yes.
Now,
By the way, it's a crazy.
this gives
day.
me chills thinking about having, because it's our response. We've all heard the show must go on, and we've all know the idea of my mom, my dad, my grandma, they would have wanted me to do the show.
Of course.
But then you actually have to do the show.
But wait, hold on. I had to do an improvised show. An hour. I had to make up the shit.
So where was
There's
this?
Flappers, ironically.
You didn't cancel Flappers?
No. But here's the lesson I learned. All right. By the way, that's a deep thing that day. And that was the anniversary. That was November 5th, 2 years ago. Okay, dig this. So I'm in Chicago. This is really a big deal.
Right.
I'm in Chicago.
Right.
And my mom is dying. And it seems like she's not going to go this particular weekend. So I fly home. Generally, I used to always fly Virgin America when it was going.
Right.
And what did they have? They had the Dean and DeLuca Swedish fish. Okay? And I would load up, first off, on a bunch of junk in the airport, especially my mom's dying. I want to fill myself up. And then when they give you these packages of Swedish fish on the plane, I would eat 3 or 4 of these packages. Even one package is too much.
They're good.
3 or 4. So plane lands from Chicago to L.A., and I noticed not only did I not eat any of my own crap that I brought on, but I said no to Swedish fish. I didn't eat it. And I went, ooh, how the hell did this happen? So as opposed to just going, or I'm going to be clean now, that was a Saturday. The very next morning, there's another part of this I'm keeping out. This is really key shit. Friday night before I flew out, I saw this blues artist at a club called Blues in Chicago. And by the way, my moniker that I live by is living the blues through comedy. That's my thing. I'm a Chicago blues man who does comedy.
Sure.
So I go see this guy, Larry Bell. And on the flight, I kept on listening to the song called Faith in Music. I'll come back to that. There's a key part.
Yeah.
Next morning, the Sunday morning, I go to OA because I don't want to and I get a sponsor because I'm I did this, but I want to take it seriously. And I go to OA, I get a sponsor. Then,
OA?
Overeaters Anonymous.
Okay.
Then I call up my wife and I tell her, I'd already moved out, but I tell her I've thought about it and we're definitely going to get divorced. That I'm doing it and it's for the better for both of us, which it's proven to be. I love her.
Right.
We're, as I told you before, we're immensely close. I love this woman. Anyhow, I had to tell her, I had to have that conversation.
Marla, wonderful
Yeah,
person.
wonderful, the best. And so that afternoon, my mom dies. Okay, so I'm filled with a lot of shit on this day. Then around 5 o'clock, I go, oh fuck, I've got a show tonight. Guess what hits me? That song, Faith in Music. Dig. The song's about, because this dude is schizophrenic and he had trouble with drugs and such.
That's what the song's about.
Well, yes. What happened was this recording company, is it Delmark? I don't remember the name of the company. They approached him and said, Lurie, we're going to help get you better, okay? But after we get better, you owe us an album. We want you to make an album, but we're going to pay for you to get better, get you medicated. And then he wrote this song about that all he has in the world is his faith in a higher power. To me, God is the universe.
Yeah.
So I believe there's something bigger than me, which keeps me humble, and it's a beautiful thing. I believe in God. I don't know what it is.
Right.
Jewish God, Baptist. I don't go into any of that.
Right, I see.
There's something bigger than me in the universe.
Right.
And so I realize my children, who I'm madly in love with, they're not mine. They're theirs.
Right.
They're themselves.
Right.
I have nothing in this world except my faith and my comedy. So for me, it was faith and comedy. I went that night. I had a magical show. I had a great show. It was as good a show as I could ever have. And then driving home, I played that song on a loop, and it was totally the truth. And so what got me through to this day of not having ice cream, if you will, is realizing that I have to sit with my feelings and trust that the universe will help make everything okay.
Interesting.
And my comedy is what saves me. My comedy is my solace. My comedy is what I have to give, and it's what I own. I own it. It's my comedy. Boom. I've never talked about this, and that just came up so organically. That's crazy.
So
I've never revealed this. It's a very personal thing to reveal.
And I so appreciate it, and our listeners, our emotional support humans.
Yeah, you call them that, yeah.
We all appreciate you being open to and vulnerable, talking about your, what'd you call it?
Wait.
Shpilkes? No, what'd you call it?
Shpilkes.
Shpilkes.
That's a Jewish, I think it's a Yiddish term for when you feel uneasy. Your
Shpilkes.
anxiety's got the best of you.
I think we found a name for the
Shpilkes.
episode.
Yeah, but you get the Shpilkes. That's what you do. It's the Shpilkes.
How do you spell that?
Oh, come on. SCHPIL. I don't know. It's Jewy. The way over it's spelled.
SCHPIL.
There's always, I know that's got to be SCH in
Yeah.
there, but you can look it up.
So
because all of, when you Google even the wrong spelling of any Jewish slang or Yiddish, it comes up with the definition and the proper spelling. God bless Google.
Did you tell the audience what was happening?
No.
Come on.
Did not share
I
it.
could not do that.
Nope, didn't share
I would
it.
have to open up.
Nope. Because Lord, it's so fresh. Lord knows where I might have gone because I don't want to be crying on stage. I don't mind being vulnerable. But that's a place where...
I see. That's
Well,
for you.
you also know, and we've seen many a comedian, by the way, who's not funny. I don't recall anyone who's funny doing this. But you see people go up on stage, and very few people reveal. But then you see someone really who has no discernible comedic talent, and they reveal shit, and you go, that's for your therapist.
Yeah.
That's not for an audience.
Right.
And me breaking down about my mother's death on stage, that's not for the audience. And by the way, it's my job to ease the audience's pain. If they ease my pain, look at how blessed I am, which that particular night they did,
Right.
but they didn't know.
Didn't it bother you? It would make me crazy if my mother passed away on a weekend. A real comedy mom would wait till Monday.
Hold on a second. My dad,
Costing you
dad only a few years before.
Could have cost you a
Wait,
fortune.
my dad died on Halloween. And I'm like, my favorite holiday. Really, Dad? And then I did a whole thing. Actually, it's coming back to me now about my parents haunting me, like on Halloween. And it's like, I'm good with my dad. He wants to say hello. I don't want to see my mom again. I saw what you're wearing is not the right outfit for what you're doing. Or whatever, I saw what you've been eating.
I love Halloween.
Yeah. It's fun. And I like Halloween for the opposite reasons. Like I used to love staying home and handing out the candy.
Yeah.
And I love watching old Universal monster movies.
Now that's like an alcoholic being a bartender.
Yeah, yes, it is. But and also I don't really dress. I only have one costume. If I ever do dress up, I have a Fred Flintstone costume.
Oh, that's good.
That's literally.
Did you wear it this year?
No, because I was on a plane to New Orleans to do a gig. But for like 35 years, I've had a Fred Flintstone costume that was made for me.
I dressed as David Tell, and my girlfriend dressed as me, and we went out bumping mics.
Oh, that's so funny.
It was cute.
Oh, that's adorable.
You talked about that weekend in Vegas. It was your birthday. It was a big birthday for you. Me and Bob Saget took you to Vegas. You had two requests. It was the three of us. And, we're all going through our lives, but we made time for each other to go for your, can I say, 50th birthday.
It was actually my 49th.
49th
Bob
birthday.
thinks it's a 50th, too. It was my 49th birthday.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think it was, and
you were at my 50th birthday.
that was different, right?
Which was
right.
a taco truck at my house. I don't know if you remember that.
Right, that was different.
Larry David came up to me that night and goes, all right, I'm going to leave. I did good. I was here.
Yeah.
All right, bye-bye. That's what he did. It was so funny. But go ahead. So what are my 2 requests?
You wanted to go see Don Rickles,
Which we did.
and you wanted to go to Joe's Crab.
Joe Stone Crab.
And I had
Joe's.
never had crab in my life.
I remember. Oh my God. I remember. And can I also?
I'm going to post this picture because this is a good picture.
Okay. Because you literally didn't know what to do. You were so happy.
Yeah. I took my, I grew up in a kosher catering hall. I didn't understand shellfish. I didn't appeal to me. I don't even eat I don't eat any fish. So it was weird, and I'm like a weird I don't even eat chopped liver. Like I'm coming out of it now as I mature, but I didn't at this point ever have crab. And you and Bob looked at me like I was totally missing out on life.
Right.
And you put this thing in front of me with a hammer and a
Joe's.
And it's
Best.
what I do understand is hard work.
Yeah, stone crab. You have to peel it
and it really paid off. Now I eat crab all the time. So thank you for that.
Oh, my pleasure, man. Believe me, my pleasure. And we had a ball for my birthday. I remember.
And Don, we went backstage afterwards, and I have great memories of the three of us.
Wayne Newton was back there,
flanking him, and my good pal Wayne Newton.
Yeah,
my USO traveling partner.
And he also did a pilot for me.
Is that right?
And they told us Mr. Newton always arrives camera ready, and he came in his full makeup and stuff. What a pro! Holy crap! When he did my show,
I toured New Orleans and Louisiana in 2005 during the Katrina. Wayne Newton called me one day. I walked out of an audition or something here in Hollywood, and he said, "Tomorrow night, can you catch a so-and-so 10 p.m. plane to Atlanta? We're going to connect and go down to Katrina." And I'm like, "What? They're still fishing bodies out of these houses. We can't go down there now." He's like, "We've been requested. I've been requested," and we went and set up on the back of trucks and wherever it was safe, and we went and did shows. Wayne Newton, very, very, very good guy, very solid person,
also
a great
classic Hall of Fame show business.
Right. Oh, he told me long stories about wanting to beat up Johnny Carson for making. He was a teenager.
Yeah.
But he was sort of like he had a high voice for a young guy.
Yeah, yeah.
So Johnny Carson would tease him about that. The same way we would make fun of Justin Bieber now for some reason. Yeah. Obviously a very talented person.
Yeah, but let's hope that Justin Bieber turns out to be half the man
that Wayne Newton is.
Yeah.
I'm with that.
Because that would be great.
We had a bit. We would go up together. Wayne Newton would wear a army uniform that had patches from every USO tour all over the world. And my whole thing was I'd walk up and I would go over the patches. This is from the Battle of the Bulge in 1860. And he loved that.
Of course he did. Of course he did. Oh, that's beautiful.
He loved that. There's so many things to talk about Jeff Garlin about.
I'll come back on another time.
But we do one thing here that is very special to us. We do a segment called Touchy Subjects.
Touchy Subjects.
Now, this is just stuff that maybe other shows wouldn't want to bring up.
Okay. I'm game.
Mr. Eddie, what's our first touchy subject?
Our first touchy subject is probably one of the craziest I've heard in a long time. There's a little...
People send these in? Or
we find them.
We find them, yeah, or they find us. There's a literal war going on over these Popeye's chicken sandwiches. Have you heard about these?
Well, yeah. What someone said, a friend of mine from New Orleans said, LSU's playing Alabama tomorrow. The Saints are in first place, look like they're going to win the thing, and Popeyes is coming out with their sandwich. What's wrong with the world? Nothing. So tell me about the Popeye sandwich. I don't know anything because I don't eat at Popeyes.
Well, tell them what happened, then I'll tell you my Popeye story.
All right. Well, so far there have been several fights, a couple car crashes, and one murder. So I'll tell you about the murder.
About getting the sandwich?
Yes.
The lines.
My God.
It's been crazy.
In Maryland, just last week, a 28-year-old man named Kevin Davis was cutting the line, and he was stabbed to death by a guy for cutting the line.
All right, do you want my opinion?
Yeah.
Good. Good. I mean, we're going, it's your show. But really, line cutters, the rage that can bring out in somebody who's like a little bit off their rocker.
Yeah.
Line cutting, you're taking big risks.
Especially if people are hungry, low blood sugar. They're waiting.
Yeah. That's in that situation. Now, I said good, obviously not good. Yeah. But holy crap, if somebody's off their hinges and they're hungry and they're waiting in line and you cut, you're going to get stabbed.
Yeah.
I only had Popeyes. See, I don't get this with Popeyes. I only had Popeyes once in my life.
Are you calling it Popeyes?
Popeyes?
Popeyes, like Popeye.
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 Am I saying it like puppet?
Like P-U-P, it
Like
sounds
a
like you
sailor.
say, yeah.
Like Popeye.
You're saying it's Popeyes, like it's a dog
Popeyes.
eye.
Popeyes.
Popeyes. Pop.
I think you're channeling something very
No,
deep
am I
inside
wrong?
me.
You're not wrong.
I'm
No,
not wrong.
I'm agreeing, but I think that you're catching me in a very talking about my grandfather or something. He looked like Popeye, and I'm called him Pop. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, I was in college and in Boston in Kenmore Square, and I was a DJ, music director at the college radio station, and right across from the dorm where the station was, they opened up Popeyes.
He still says Popeyes, but keep going.
And everybody was talking about it.
Right.
Like it was like this new thing from a
Right.
different part of the
Right.
country that was suddenly smack in the middle of campus.
Right.
And the lines were long, and I had a weird all-night shift, so I was able to go like right when they were opening or closing or something. And it was like the day they opened, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to see what all the hubbub is about. I ordered a 3-piece.
Mm-hmm.
I got 2 pieces in. And I literally stopped. I've never stopped a meal in the middle my entire life, and ran back to my dorm.
For diarrhea?
I had a shit so bad.
Oh, my God.
My
Oh.
2-piece came out in 20,000 pieces.
Holy moly.
I'll
that's
never
funny.
forget it, and I'll never eat Popeyes
Well,
again.
I'm not a big chicken guy, but when I did eat fried chicken years ago, my favorite place was Church's.
Yeah.
Church's fried chicken I liked a lot.
They
I used to have to travel in because from Chicago, but also South Florida at a
Right.
certain point. And I used to travel down to Martin Luther King Boulevard, only white guy around, going to Church's.
Right.
Yeah.
They call it churches because you got to pray to God you don't shit your pants.
Well, by the way, that's White Castle for me.
No.
If I'm ever
See, now-
constipated.
now I'm
No,
mad.
I love White Castle, and I'll do it. But White Castle leads me to diarrhea every time. And
Really?
I love it. Oh, I'm never going to badmouth White Castle. I love it. But also, it works better than X-Lax, so I use it. If I'm all tied up, although there's none out here in L.A., but I would go to a White Castle for sure. I've done it. I've gone to a White Castle because I was constipated, and it worked. I love White Castle.
What a plug.
Yeah, it's true, though.
You're going to get a whole case of White Castle sent over.
By the way, and I might be constipated. I hope I am.
If White Castle had ice cream, what would happen?
I wouldn't go to White Castle. I'm sorry.
I used to
I
steal
still
the-
can occasionally have a White Castle.
I used to steal the
Slider.
posters off the wall.
Oh, really? Why wouldn't you?
I have. There's probably all over the place. But I used to. Anyway, shout out to all the people who are waiting online as we speak for Popeye's chicken sandwiches.
Popeyes, unbelievable.
What's our
Stop
next?
with the Popeyes.
What's our next touchy
Popeyes.
subject? What's our next touchy subject?
Our next one is about a rapper T.I. recently revealed that he takes his 18-year-old daughter to yearly gyno exams so he can make sure that she's still a virgin by having someone check her hymen.
Wow.
Okay,
Yeah.
guess what?
What?
He's fucked up. Sorry, it's none of my business.
That is weird.
But the fact he talked about it in public makes it
Yeah.
open for a comedian. That is just a big bowl of wrong.
I mean, he kind of bragged about it.
Well,
pretty
let him
much.
brag about it. But also, it could also be this arrogant thing that he's making up.
It's
It
weird.
sounds made up.
And-
I mean, first off, I don't know if she is actually 18. I don't know any gynecologist who goes, "Come on in, Ti," as we look at your daughter's vagina. So I think it's kind of bullshitty. I love that he said that.
I'm guessing her hymen hasn't been ruptured, but her faith in men has been.
That's a good one.
Right?
That's better than your jokes at the beginning.
Thank you. Her gynecologist says she's still a virgin, but her proctologist has a different opinion.
That's very good.
All right.
Yeah.
You know what? I would say stay out of your daughter's.
Life.
Shout out to T.I.'s daughter.
Yeah. Boy, she needs one.
Yeah. What's next?
This one.
This is fun. Thank you for doing this with us.
Pleasure.
This is so much fun.
This one comes out of the Seattle area. At a park outside Seattle, multiple turtles were seen this week with swastikas painted on their shells.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Turtles with swastikas painted on them.
That's correct. Yeah. They so far have not been able to capture the turtles to clean it off. So they're kind of just running amok and yeah. So
Well, that's just a drunk person who thought it was funny.
A drunk Nazi.
Might not even be a drunk Nazi, to be honest. A drunk racist for sure. Drunk asshole for sure. But really, that's just somebody drunk doing something, and they're probably getting, if they remember that they did it, they're getting great joy that it's making the news.
I've been to that park, and those turtles are very anti-Semitic.
Yeah, they did it to one another.
The swastikas weren't as bad as the tiny mustaches glued to their faces. They knew the turtles were Nazis when they loaded all the lizards on a train.
Oh, my God.
All right. Shout out to the turtles. Turtles live like
A long time.
into the hundreds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, because they're dinosaur-y.
I
A
guess
bunch of
so.
dinosaurs would have lived long if it wasn't for being destroyed.
If it wasn't for TV. TV rotted their brains.
Yeah, TV routed their brains.
What's next?
Now they're always on the cell phones, those dinosaurs. Yeah.
This one comes out of Berlin, Germany, so it's
Yeah.
an international touchy subject.
Yeah.
A funeral in Germany ended badly or well, depending on who you ask, when a funeral party went to a restaurant for coffee and cake
Right.
after the funeral, and they accidentally were served a weed cake.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah.
see no problem in that story on any level.
I guess so.
Yeah.
You've got some jokes written about it?
The
Go ahead.
restaurant was charged with assault and cake battery.
Oh, dear God.
They usually tell the people at a funeral to keep off the grass.
Very good.
What else happened?
Well, basically what happened was the chef at the restaurant, she asked her 18-year-old daughter to bake a bunch of cakes.
Right.
But the daughter had actually baked one extra cake for a party she was going to later that night. The mom took the wrong cake out of the refrigerator.
See, I think that's great. I mean, I think that's actually a happy story.
Oh, yeah. No,
Yeah,
I think you're right.
That's a good story.
I feel like the sad story is when the teenager showed up to a party with a shitty cake that got no one high. They switched him up.
But she promised it's loaded with weed. I bet you that's what happened.
Yeah.
Wrong cake.
That's what happened. That's totally what happened. Shout out to the people who got accidentally stoned in Germany.
Filled with grief. That's a great time to get stoned.
I think it worked out good.
Yeah,
And you're
it
not.
worked
And
out
if
good.
you're whatever, you're in drug Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, and you accidentally eat a weed cake.
Can't blame yourself.
Can't
That's
blame
not your own
yourself.
sobriety.
Right. That's not your own
You didn't do it.
choice. Right.
Yeah.
What do you got, Ed? What's next?
This-
more. Let's do one more.
All right, this one's a local story. An LA firefighter racked up about $360,000 in overtime this year from fighting the fires. The guy reported 5,616 hours total of overtime, which is a lot. And they make about $65,000 to $91,000 a year just normally.
Wow.
And he's remaining anonymous to protect his identity, obviously. But
I'm not mad.
no.
Wow.
I'm not mad. As a matter of fact, I encourage all firemen, put in more hours than you work.
Yeah.
They deserve so much more than they get. They're heroes. Get all the money you can. I'll pay higher taxes. If somebody told me I pay higher taxes and the money goes to these firefighters,
Of course.
done.
Yeah.
So I'm not upset about that. Although, if he's willing to fight fires, I don't care what his ethics are.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's willing to go in there and do that. Ethically, he's got some problems. I don't care.
Right. Yeah.
I guess the saddest thing is that it's only like 1/8 of the money Billy Baldwin made filming Backdraft.
That's a good one, although a bit dated. Keep going. Any Billy Baldwin reference is falling on deaf ears for most of your
If this
listeners.
guy
Keep
keeps
going.
this up, one day he'll be able to buy a mansion that gets burned down.
That's funny.
Can you believe these fires are getting so out of control that we actually have to pay these firefighters a respectable amount of money?
Oh my God.
That's how shitty we treat firemen. The one time one makes a lot of money, it's a news story. You know what? I'll just say it. I have a family friend who's a firefighter in New Mexico, and he came all the way here with his crew.
They
and
do
his
that.
5 trucks
They
to
do
take
that.
care of us here in L.A. So
These are actual heroes.
these
Sorry
are
about
actual certified heroes. So shout out to all the firefighters.
it. Including the ones that are getting too much money. It's never enough money.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it for touchy subjects. You're such a funny guy, Jeff. Where do you when you walk on stage, do you look at the crowd before you start talking? Do you bring your mood onto the stage? Like, I feel like I have to stay present, but I kind of know at least half of what I'm doing.
Right.
But you're out there without a net.
Yes.
And I really saw that in your new special.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's now there's 8 cameras in the room and everybody knows they're there for a Netflix taping. Like when I did my Bumping Mike show, to get Attell to really be loose with me, I had to do no blocking, no rehearsal, no makeup. He doesn't even know the cameras are there. 2 shows a day so that there's no big entrance.
Yes.
And I notice you, I don't want to give away too much, but you don't make a big entrance.
Well, I don't make a big entrance because my opinion on entrances and stand-up specials, they're only for ego. And you say hello to whatever town that is, or isn't this great, or it's a waste of time. It's a complete waste of time. That's why, so my special starts with me talking, right as I'm talking.
I love it.
Yeah.
You do that great opening joke, and I want to play that clip right now.
I am immensely successful. No, I am. And, no, it is true. Immensely successful. But yet, you'd think it'd be good enough being me. Every single day, numerous people come up to me and they say, what's Larry David really like?
The special is called Our Man in Chicago.
Yes.
It starts streaming this week on Netflix. Garlin, you're such a good friend. You're such a good pal. You're such a pillar of our California comedy community.
That's an honor that you say that. And thank you. By the way, I had a ball. This was really great fun and
There's one
joyful. What's that?
There's a question I ask people,
Okay,
and I know we
before I leave.
touched on it earlier.
What's that?
And it's just sort of a way to sort of, when times are tough, we talked about sitting with your feelings.
Yes.
Now, when that's over, and you feel like that's over, like for me, I force myself to just get up and go do something, not be on the couch, not turn the TV on, not go to the refrigerator.
Right.
Like that's what I do. Sometimes it's as simple as putting Rodney Dangerfield into YouTube and hearing his miserable voice.
Yeah.
Is there one thing that you can tell our listeners that you do that might help them or inspire them?
I would say
music.
You kind of said that. Like I put on Bob Marley. Bob Marley's. I put on Billie Holiday when I'm down, which sort of makes me feel good, even though I'm not feeling great. So music, movies, a book feels like it's too much effort on my part when I'm feeling down. But a movie and music, especially music, and also comedy, watching, like if I turn on one of John Mulaney's specials,
Right.
Oh my God, the joy that I feel watching that guy. I remember I was depressed recently and I YouTubed a skit that he was in on Saturday Night Live called What's That Name? Where you've worked with somebody and you don't know their friend's wife, whatever. I've seen that skit 20 times, but it brings me out of it, I
love that.
A great comedy movie can bring me out. That's what my job is. So I say, if you're feeling shitty, well, please watch my special. I mean, my job is to ease people's pain, and I look to my peers and special people like Nick Drake or Bob Marley to pull me out of the darkness.
Wow.
And also being with friends, going places, leaving your house, going for a walk. That
Small groups for you.
Always
Not big
small
groups.
groups.
Not
Yes,
big
I have
groups.
great social anxiety.
Right.
Love a good dinner party. Love one-on-one.
But not a big party.
Big party, no.
You came to my house once for 15 minutes.
I know, and then left.
People thought you were the Postmates guy.
I came there. I saw a guy with a man bun, and I had to leave. 100% true
Understandable.
story.
Did you ever figure out who it was?
No, I still have no idea who that was.
This is our closing bit. It's called Final Word. We give one-word answers, what we learned over the course of the podcast.
Okay.
Hit it.
Chicago.
Fun town.
Well, they said one-word answer. You just gave 2 words.
I fucked up.
All right, then I'll do this. Double dip. Okay, you're doing 2-word answers. I'll do double dip. Okay, go ahead.
John Witherspoon.
Funny.
Funny. No, I can copy you, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's so funny.
You go first on the next one.
Okay.
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Genius? No, I don't know. I mean, I love it. It's
What was that
myself.
voice?
I don't know. I just went somewhere with it. Genius.
Next one.
Susie Essman.
Delightful.
Love. Known her my whole career.
By the way, the best, right? The best.
And when my lady friend comics who get down on their acting career, like sometimes women will complain that I only have a short window until I can make it. I point to people like Susie, who when she was old enough to play a mom, hit big. You need that 20, 30 years of chops to really hold your own.
Of course, you gotta be who you are.
When you're up there with comedic royalty, you need 30 years of experience to do it, and the chemistry that you guys have is amazing. And shout out to Susie. Next one.
German Funeral.
Oh, that's a bong hit. Wait.
Leica. It's a German product that I use. I don't have much off that story.
Nazi Turtles.
It can't be a one-word answer. I have the thing. The turtle will live long enough that somebody will clean it. That's how long turtles live. So somebody's going to clean it at some point.
Someone's going to find. They've been having trouble finding
find
the
it.
turtles.
They're probably in Argentina
turtles.
right now.
Yeah.
They'll get those turtles. Jeff
That was a
Garlin.
good joke. They're
Thank
probably
you.
in Argentina right now. I heard it.
Oh, that was a good one,
Yeah.
Eddie. All right, you really did it. Jeff Garlin's new Netflix special, Our Man in Chicago, premieres November 12th, motherfuckers! You got to go watch that. Follow Jeff at the Jeff Garlin.
At Jeff Garlin, not the Jeff Garlin.
The
I'm not
Jeff
on Twitter. That's a fake account.
Oh, it is?
At the Jeff Garlin is not me.
Oh, it's not you.
That's a fake account. But at Jeff Garlin is my real Instagram account.
Do you have a real Twitter?
No, I am not on Twitter.
Not on Twitter.
So if you
Really?
see anything that I say on Twitter, ain't me.
It's not you. All right.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming down. Congrats on the new special. And thank you for being a friend.
My pleasure.
All right.
Andrew Gold.
Life is hard, folks, but don't worry. We're getting through it together. Here's your emotional support human T-shirt.
We give them every guest.
Oh, wow. Red. It's a good color for me. Thanks, man.
It's like when you're a puppy.
I love it.
You could go on the airplane for
By
free
the way, I
now.
love that shirt. That's a great shirt, man.
Thank you. We sell them on the website.
Thickskin with Jeff. Greg, thank you.
All right.
Hello. Yes, I'm done with the podcast. Do you want to describe what I just did? Hello. Yeah. No, I'll call you back.
For those listening and not watching, Jeff is using the T-shirt we gave him as a telephone. Love you guys. Garlin. All right. I walked my buddy Jeff Garlin out. He has his emotional support human T-shirt. Those are available
At roastmastergeneral.com.
They're really fun. They
Yeah.
say thick skin with Jeff Ross on the back and has the emotional support human logo on the front.
There's also other shirts on there right now, and there's also a mug that's great. I love that mug.
It says,
Sure.
I'm offended by people that are always offended.
Exactly.
With great artwork. So this is how we finance our podcast, by selling mugs and T-shirts. People keep trying to advertise, and I keep turning them down because I don't know.
I mean, my dad wears that shirt, and people are always asking him, where can I listen to the podcast?
I love it. So,
Yeah.
listen to us on YouTube, on iTunes.
YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, we're everywhere.
Don't just listen, subscribe. And I do love the comments. I know podcasters always say, rate and comment. I read every fucking comment. I just love the interaction with the fans, the listeners.
Yeah, we love it. And we respond, and, we apply the...
And write it. What?
We apply the advice, and we love it. The
Write us a note, too.
Yeah, write us a note.
What's our email?
Our email is thickskinwithjeffross@gmail.com. And you can also follow us on Twitter at thickskincast and Instagram, thickskinwithjeffross.
So
you can
cool.
also follow Jeff at Real Jeffrey Ross on Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I can remember my password. I got a new phone. It's very confusing. I'm on the road, baby. Come on out. I'm going to be in West Palm Beach in December at the Improv by myself. It's about time me and Florida had some alone time. I have so many friends and family down in Florida. I didn't want to have a whole year go by without going down there, so I booked myself at the West Palm Beach Improv for a solo show. Gonna be a party.
It's going to be great. And you can also catch Jeff and Dave Attell doing the Bumpy Mics tour. They're coming to Ben Salem, PA on November 23rd at the Parks Casino.
Maybe a couple tickets left for that one.
Yeah, make sure to get them because they're selling out. If you're in Texas, they're going to do a little Texas tour. January 16th in Austin, Texas at the Paramount Theater. The 17th, San Antonio, Texas at the Majestic. And the 18th, they're going to be in Houston, Texas at the Revention Music Center.
Hell yeah. Like a motherfucker. Bumping Mics. Pick up your Bumping Mics vinyl on Amazon. Netflix put an album out. I feel like a rock star.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's it, Ed. Good job filling in for Ed, Ed.
Thank you. I loved it.
You did a great job, man. I had a lot of fun.
Great. Thanks for having me on.
All right. Well, you're fired because Ed will be back next week. Life is hard, but don't worry, folks. You, me, all of us, we're getting through it together. Taking us out, a little Gary Clark Jr. Damn. I'm in New York, talking the talk. I'm doing the podcast, full tank of gas. I got Cousin Ed and Gary too. I got the thick skin blues. Having a drink. My armpits stink.
Hey.
I'm feeling so good. I'm in the hood. I don't want it to end. I got the thick skin